everyone, I'm Mel.
And I'm Krista. And this is Just the Tips.
So today on Just the Tips, we have our friend and officiant Val Moriwaki here to talk with us about the wedding ceremony.
The wedding ceremony is probably one of the most important parts of your day because you can't get married without it. So we brought on an expert to give you guys a little bit of insight.
So Val, tell us kind of a little bit about yourself and how you started officiating weddings.
I've been officiating weddings for about 5 years now, maybe going on 6. I started officiating because my husband was a minister and he married people, but then unfortunately he got sick. And so I was teaching preschool at the time, and some of the teachers there were like, oh, Uncle Aki's gonna marry me when I get married, because they were about 20s, 30s. And so when he got sick, they were like, Auntie Val, you have to marry us now. And I'm like, okay. Okay, I guess I could. And then I thought about it and I thought, oh, why not? You know, I've been to a lot of weddings. I don't mind talking in front of people. I didn't like the microphone at first. I was like, but now I'm fine. It's very comfortable. But so I took a class with Alice Denoy, who retired recently from officiating, and so I studied under her, and then I started doing weddings, and then I got busier and busier, and now it's kind of like my mostly full-time thing that I do.
Awesome.
So,
yeah.
Val is definitely one of our most favoriteest officiants.
I like when I see you guys. I was like, yes! There she is. Oh, she got her boots on. Ready to kick it.
So what do you love most about being an officiant?
You know, I really love working with couples. I like knowing that I can make them feel comfortable and at ease during their ceremony, because it's really a moment that you can't take back and that you really want to be present in, because, I mean, that's where you begin your life together, officially anyway. But I really enjoy that part. I love when the bride walks down the aisle. That's like my favorite part. And sometimes I get caught up in it and it's like, oh, okay, stop. It's funny. So
you're just as excited as everybody else.
Yeah, it's because you get to know them, and it's just fun. You know, it's a fun thing. It's a happy thing to do. And it's exciting, exciting.
There's totally moments where I'm like shooting and like my eyes are starting to water up and I'm like, oh, it's so cute. But I was like, okay, let's get it together.
It is, and you just have to, oh gosh, I have to breathe. Or I'll be like this, you know, or sometimes it's really hot and I'm like this, and people must think, oh,
like, oh, I'm not crying, I'm just hot.
She's crying
she
too.
really loves the couple.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just a moment. It's a very touching moment, and it's fun too. You know, you can have fun. It doesn't have to be serious. It can be fun. So.
Okay, Val, so what would you say to our couples, like the top 5 tips for their wedding ceremony?
Top 5 tips. Oh gosh, my number 1 tip would be hire a wedding planner. That will save you a lot of grief.
By the way, we agree with that for photography too.
Yes. Especially if it's a bigger, you know, wedding. You just want to have fun and make sure everything goes smoothly. And even though you think in your mind you can do it, the reality of it is so much different. It really is. And just trust it. Hire someone. Yes. My second tip would be wedding rehearsal. Should I have a wedding rehearsal? Should I not have a wedding rehearsal? If you are having a small wedding party, bridal party, and maybe it's a backyard wedding or an intimate type wedding, then you don't really need a rehearsal. But if you do have a venue, you're spending the money for it, then yes, it will save you a lot of overthinking. If I'm doing, am I gonna stand the right way? Am I gonna do this? And there's key points in your ceremony, like the handoff with the father and the bride, or the mother to the groom, the ring exchange. There's just different points in the ceremony that are kind of important, and especially if you're videoing or filming, or taking pictures, you want those key moments to stand out.
It definitely goes along a lot smoother. Like,
it does.
You know, you keep doing it over and over, and you're like, I got this.
Yeah, and it's less stressful on you because you take that thought away, and the more you can clear out of your head, the less stress you'll have and overwhelm. You won't feel that overwhelmed because you'll know you're confident. And it's cute, you know, when your bridal party, they really want to get it right for you, and then the day of it, it's just so funny. It's like, yeah, nailed it. You know, I mean,
And then you have the one flower girl that's just like,
yeah, you know, but they can get away with it, you know. They're cute, you know. Not adults, I don't know. Yeah, it just depends.
Depends how cute you are.
Yeah, depends on the cute factor, I guess. My third tip: do you want to write your own vows? Do you not want to write your own vows? And that's really up to the person, because some people, they're just not that way, and it is stressful to have to think, oh my gosh, you know. But ask your officiant or ask someone. There's a lot of things on the internet you can get and use for inspiration, but you kind of want to write your own vows if you are doing a video, because it's easier for the videographer to work with, because they always edit out the officiant. I noticed that. I watch a lot of videos and they, hey, I don't hear me. How'd they do that? How'd they do that? You know? And so it's like, yeah, so if you do your own vows, it's more personal in the video. It's easier for the videographer to cut in and out and try to take something that can create a really nice story. So I would recommend that for that. But if you're not, then I wouldn't stress over it, and you can always choose vows that reflect you and you can be repeated. You know, so it's totally up to you. But, you know, if in the event, then that would be better. Another one is to think about is, do you want to do something special in your ceremony? Ceremonies with an officiant are a little bit different from a ceremony, say, in a church. They're a little bit shorter. Ceremonies with an officiant at a venue might be about 10 minutes to 15 minutes at the most from walking to exiting. And sometimes you can add things in that are nice, like sand ceremonies, lace exchanges for your parents. I've even done time capsules, wine bottle.
Cool.
Yeah, the time capsule was really neat. I've done special ones with magic pebbles. You know, all the guests get pebbles, and then they hold on to it and they create wishes, and then we collect them after. I mean, there's a lot of things you can come up with that might be good for the couple, like it will reflect you. So it's nice to add that in, and it doesn't create a lot of extra time. So that's something to think about.
Yeah, I know sometimes too people will have like their dogs in the ceremony, and that kind of, you know, lets them enjoy with all of their family, fur babies and all.
Yeah, I had a famous dog in one of my last weddings. He has 50,000 Instagram followers.
Really?
Yes. Gojo the corgi. Oh my gosh, he has 50,000 Instagram followers. But yeah, I married his parents. It was funny. I was like, what? Yeah. And then my fifth tip would be, make sure you apply online for your marriage license. That's kind of important. And
a little bit.
Yeah, if you want it legal anyway. But that is really quick. You just go online. We'll have the link for you, and you register and you give that to your officiant. You want to do this within 30 days of your ceremony, because it's only good for 30 days, and your officiant will register it for you online, and you'll get your marriage certificate within a few short weeks right after.
Keep in mind that I think you do still have to go down to the Department of Health at some point though, and actually
You do. You have to pick it up.
It's not only online.
Yeah, it's online. Yes, good point.
We didn't know that when we got married. I was like, oh, we have to go down there. Whoops.
You do, but there are, when you register, there are after you hit the button, there are a list of marriage license agents. And some people, they can't go at the same time, which you do have to go and present your ID. But there are a list of agents in different areas that you can make appointments with, and they're open in the evening.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, and I think it's like $5, which is, I mean, valuable for your time.
Totally.
Yeah.
$5.
Yeah, $5, like,
That's awesome.
yeah. So yeah, there are options to keep in mind.
So another thing to think about is if you want to do a first look versus doing the more traditional seeing each other first at the ceremony. So if you do a first look, it's a lot more intimate and sweet, whereas doing the traditional seeing each other at the ceremony, it's more emotional and more dramatic.
So, for example, when Val and I got married, we actually decided to do a first look, and we had a couple different reasons of why we wanted to do that. First, I am kind of a crier, and I was like, I did not want my makeup to get ruined or to be like bawling in front of everybody. So I kind of wanted to like get out the anxiety sort of beforehand, but also for a lot of people, what they don't think about is, you know, when you're crying, it kind of messes up your makeup. So if you want to make sure that you still look good, and you know, before you're getting all like sweaty and stuff, you know, your photos and your video and everything will come out a lot cleaner, perhaps, and you know, not so streaky makeup and all of that. And then it is true though, it was like a really nice time for just the two of us to kind of spend together before everybody else just came in and made it all crazy.
So another thing about having a first look, if you do decide to do it that way, you'll be able to bang out a bunch of your photos beforehand. Whereas if you do the more traditional way, you'll just have that time after the ceremony to take your photos, and that can kind of take up some time, and it'll have more time for your guests to be waiting before your reception. So that's just another thing to keep in mind if you want a shorter time after your ceremony and you can just get right into the fun with all of your guests.
Thank you so much, Val, for coming on our episode of Just the Tips to talk about the wedding ceremony. We are going to put all of Val's contact info in the description so you can book her for your wedding.
Yay! Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Just the Tips on Wedding Ceremony. If you like this video, make sure to like it, comment, and subscribe for more wedding tips.
I'm Mel.
And I'm Krista, and this is Just the Tips.